Hi, my name's Britt, and this is my hot take on working in a different country. G'day everyone. So today I want to talk you through why I moved countries. Basically, it's a question I ask myself every day, but what I really, I've always wanted to do something different and move to the UK. It's something I've always wanted to do, and now I'm heading towards the big 3-0. I thought it was time, better now than never. So I was coming to the point in my career when I could have taken the next step and gone up a new level and come to run a department. However, what I wanted to do was challenge myself in a different way. So I thought, why not do something new, like moving countries? I chose the UK because I've got roots here and it's something I've always kind of wanted to dabble in. An English-speaking country definitely makes the transition a lot easier. So my role here at TrunkBBI is a data and insights manager. Applying for a job overseas is a little bit different. So the first step that I had to do was take my LinkedIn profile and make it nice and schmick, and definitely really beef out my experience and talk about what I've done, like my history and how that translates into the UK market. When you're jumping over to a new country, you've got to look at your experience and is it relevant in the UK or is it relevant in a different country? Especially when when there's different language and terminology for things too. That's one thing I had to tweak my resume to sit with, is that the UK uses different terminology, especially when I'm saying data and data, but that's something that we're trying to get used to, but everyone's sort of seemingly getting along with it. Basically, I started applying through jobs on LinkedIn when I was back in Australia, and I reached out to a few different people. TrunkBBI definitely caught my interest because it seemed like a super cool company that worked with awesome clients. So I got reached out to by Tim, our head of operations, and set up an interview. Now, the fun thing is about interviewing in a different country is you're in a different time zone. So everyone was just waking up and I was just about to pour a glass of wine in the afternoon. So I was taking interviews about 7, 8 p.m. And I would definitely recommend doing interviews before you come over to a different country, just because it sets you up in the landscape. You get to sort of get a feel for what kind of roles and that you can get to. So that was really good. And then when I came over to the UK, I met up with everyone in person for a couple more interviews, and that's how I ended up with the role here. Working in a different country really can help round out your career, and I think it's something that will be really heavily desired if I ever choose to go back to Australia, because it's not only just new skills and that you're getting in a role, it's also the fact you've moved countries, you've had to make new connections, talk to lots of new people and really put yourself out there, and I think that's definitely something that's desirable in a candidate as well. It's a huge challenge and I definitely recommend it to anyone. It's the best decision I've made. Some of the biggest differences I found so far, definitely, I won't talk about pub culture on a work podcast, but pub culture is definitely a little bit stronger, that's for sure. You know what? I've gotten used to a sleep in a little bit, and rugging up of a morning too, even though it's summer. That's a massive one. But really, there's not too many differences between an agency here and an agency in Australia. And I think working in marketing gives you a lot of transferable skills.